2 from Unit 1. The warm-up is talking about the 4 drawings here. Select all drawings whose squares could be used to find the area of the shape. So I'm looking at this and I notice something that pops up right here. I wouldn't pick C because you see how the square is on top of the other square and there's gaps here. So this is no good. I can't use these squares to figure out the area. So this one has gaps and it also has the squares overlapping. So there's overlap. So I can't use these squares to figure out the area. On the other hand, A looks pretty good. The squares are next to each other. There's no gaps. There's no overlaps. So this one is good. I'll use it. And even though this part of the square is very small, if this square were to continue, it would be like the same size as the other squares. So we're just going to use like a fraction of the squares to find the area. I would not pick B because look, these squares are smaller than these squares. So if I count these squares, they're not equal in area, so it would give me the wrong area measurement. So for this one, I would say squares are different sizes. Okay, and then our last one. This one looks pretty good. All the squares are the same size, and we have some fractional squares here. There's no gaps, there's no overlaps. And this one is also good. Okay. The definition of an area, your best definition of an area should be something like filling up the space inside polygons with squares of the same size with no gaps or overlaps. Okay, great. Here's the next activity. We're going to look at some triangles and some squares. For example, we have small, medium, large right triangles. And there's a square that has an area of 1 square unit. So here's what it looks like. So this square right here measures 1 square unit. Now, the triangle right next to it, this one here, seems to be like half the size of the square here. So if I split the square in half, it's like half the size, right? So this would be area of 1/2. And this is exactly the same shape. This is the same shape. This is the same shape. So these are all 1/2. This is 1. Now there's a little triangle, the medium triangle. If I split this one in half, then I get these 2 triangles that are the same. If I actually cut this out and put it on top of this one, it will cover it entirely, so it's the same size. So that's 1/2, this is 1/2. Now over here, I could probably cut this large triangle in half and then cut it in half again, going this way for this one. So it looks like I have 4 of these 1/2 small triangles. Okay, and then this big triangle is the same as this one. So what does this add up? 1/2 and 1/2, that's 1. 1/2 and 1/2, that's 1. Together it's 2. All right, so the measurement for the area of this entire giant square would be 2 plus 2. And then here, 1/2 and 1/2, that's 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have 2 plus 2 plus, here's another 2. And then down here, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, and 1/2. That's also another 2. So the area would be 8 square units. Okay, so if you go to activity 3, it says the area of the small triangle. We figured out it was 1/2 a square unit. The area of the medium triangle, that was 1 square unit, just like the square. And the large triangle, we figured out was 2 square units. Okay, so if you take apart the shapes, you are decomposing a figure. And if you move it around, you are rearranging it. And then you can compose it again into different shapes. So there's your vocabulary words: compose and decompose.